Welcome back to the Hana Shows. This is the podcast where we would talk about the career advice and how to advance in your career. I'm Hana, your host, and I will share my own professional experience and tell you where I learned from my mistakes so you don't have to go through the same struggle. In this episode, we will talk about how to craft an application and how to design and create the best resume and cover letter. In today's episode, we will talk about the resume because that's, in my opinion, the most important part of the application. This is the document that will represent you to people that didn't meet you yet. So if you want to go through the first phase, which is the pre-selection, it has to be something that will show your best qualifications, show that you're potentially the best candidates for this position. What I see is that most of the people go on internet, download some template, they customize it, change some information, and send it to all the applications. It's, in my opinion, a mistake because each application you will send should be different. The jobs are different and they should reflect a different part of your experience, personality. It should match what the recruiter is looking for. I'm not saying don't download a template and don't do that. This is an initial step, yes, but think about it as something you have to think about more, and it has to reflect that you spend time working on it. What I mean by that is that you have to think first about what you're good at. Not only the jobs you had, the tasks you had to perform, but you have to show that you are here to solve a problem. The job is there and it's vacant because that company has an issue. They want you to work on something, a potential project, a role that will help them. Because it's a company, ultimately they're there to make money. So they want to choose the best candidate and overachiever, someone that's hardworking. So this is obvious, but you have to show that you match the description of the job they posted. Usually people spend not more than 50 seconds going through the job offering. It means you barely have an idea about what the company is looking for. This is an issue because then when you send the application, it will not reflect that you are the person they're looking for. What we should do is start by reading in detail the job offering, finding the keywords, because using the keywords will make the person that's reading your resume understand that you have what they're looking for. Sometimes it's not even a person that will read your resume the first time. So if it's a big company, it will go through a system that will scan the resumes because they receive thousands of applications and it's not humanly possible to read all of them. And they will pick on keywords. That's why in order to go through the first step and get to the recruiter, you have to use the right keywords. Sometimes the words mean the same. So sometimes you will see a position that's saying we're looking for a team manager. Maybe in your application, in your resume, you're using some other word, team leader. It means the same. For you, you would think, well, yeah, it's not that different, but you're not using the same keywords, which means maybe that system will not pick up that you have the right competencies. And if it reflects something else, maybe using the wrong word will mean that you're not familiar with what the company is about. Because each company is different, just like each person has a different mentality, each company will be structured in a different way. And they will believe in different things for their organizations. So sometimes you will have companies that really think that teamwork is important, and then everyone in the company is the same family, and they have to be close together. This is indicative of a company that values the human side. If you show that you have it in your application, you'll be more likely to be selected. So once you read all the descriptions and pick up the right keywords, you have to write them down, keep them and then use them in your resume. I'm not saying you're changing what you had to say. You're the same person, yes, but it reflects that you match what this company is looking for. The second thing is also using a simple format, because they also say that this recruiter who is receiving hundreds of applications will maybe spend 7 seconds going through your application. So if it's not clear and structured in a way that makes this person read it easily and pick up on the important things from the first time, maybe you're the right candidate, but they will never realize. So I see a lot of people using tables, graphics, complicated things on their resume. It's not ideal unless you're applying to a job position that requires your skills for graphic designs, for example, or art. But usually for the other application, it's more a problem than anything else. So the system might not pick up the details because the way it's structured is more complicated. And maybe the person that's reading it after reading so many other applications will be so tired that it will be more difficult to go through what's written and will be lost in all the designs and words all over the place. My recommendation is keep it simple. Write it in a way that is easy to read and write it in a way that will deliver your message clearly and concisely. After structuring it in a simple way that is clear to read, you also have to think about your accomplishment this time. So when we usually look at the application, we usually know if we're a right fit or not. So by reading, you have to put forward what matches this application. So for example, you could be someone that worked in sales your entire life. Your resume would be filled with a lot of sales details. Maybe this is another position that doesn't require sales at all. So what do? You will try to use the words they use and show that you have the capabilities of doing what they're looking for. So maybe they're looking for someone that has good communication skills. Because you were a salesperson, obviously, you probably had good communication skills. So instead of saying, I worked my entire life doing this and this in sales, you could say that from that experience, I can show that I had good communication skills because of this and this. It will make it easier for them to understand that you have the skills and you can do the job. Because even though it's obvious for you, they're busy people and they don't have time to match what you did with what they're looking for. If you make their job easier, you will be more likely to be selected. So when I say make their job easier, is map your skills with those that are required in the job application. Do the job yourself. It will be reflected in your resume. If someone reads it, they will instantly realize that you took a time, you read their requirements, you read what they posted about their company, and you're talking exactly about the same things. You're using the same language. It shows also that you're interested and you did the right thing by talking to people that told you about the company. They told you what the issues are in the companies and what they're looking for to improve. So you could also include points that they didn't mention and that you think that are valuable to advance in what they're doing. So maybe they have a project where they need to develop something they will sell. So if you understand their issues and you show that you can bring to the table more than what they're looking for, you're obviously going to be more competitive compared to the other people. The biggest mistake with the resumes is that we always send the same resume regardless of the application, regardless of the company. And it's something that the reader will instantly pick up on. So if everyone else is only sending, I went to the school, I did this, and you come and you send a resume with more details, you will instantly stand out. The details that are important are also the achievement. What we tend to do is only say, I worked in this position, this was the role, and these were the tasks I was supposed to perform. It's not ideal. We know usually the tasks. So if you say, I was an accountant, we roughly have an idea about what an accountant has to do. So by listing only the tasks you had to perform, we don't know if you were the best at what you were doing, and we don't know if you know what you're talking about. Listing achievements is way, way, way more impactful. So you have to show the impact you had in your position. You have to show what you did, what you accomplished. So instead of saying, I was in charge of doing this, you could say, by working on this project, it led the company to increase this by, let's say, 30%. It led the company to make a profit of $1 million. Like, if you show what you accomplished at the end, what the company received from you, what the company increased thanks to you, it will be way, way, way more impactful. Compared to only listing, I was supposed to do this. Because, of course, you're hired because you're supposed to accomplish some tasks. Yes, we expect you to do it, and that's the basic expectations. But if you show that you go beyond and you work harder, smarter, then you ultimately will seem like the best fit for the job. We talked about networking in the past episode, and this is where it's an information you can use, because if you talk to someone that's currently working in the company or worked there before, they know the culture, and it's something they could explain to you. They will know also the challenges faced in the company, and this information would be very helpful for you to craft the best application. You will also show the added value. So you don't only show that you're here and you can do the job. You will show that the job you will do will have a certain impact in the company. You will not be able to do that unless you research what the company is about and you research what the culture is to understand if you're a good fit. So again, like we said, if you make the job of the recruiter easier by showing them directly, this is what you're looking for, this is what I have, and this is the link, they will instantly understand that you're someone they can hire and you're someone they can rely on. When we think about the resume, we also think about two different resumes. So people that have experience and people that are just starting their career. If you had already previous professional experience, you could even start with a summary at the top of your resume that will show your accomplishment and talk directly of what you are willing to do and what you did in the past. Summarize it and show also the impact you had in what you did. It will make it easier for the reader to classify you and understand what your profile is about. If you're someone that didn't start his career yet or have very little experience, it's also okay for the resume because you will also start by talking about your impact. So let's say you did something in college, for example, you organized an event. You scheduled everything, you organized it from the beginning to the end, you had people come in. So by talking about something like this is already an experience that shows that you had an impact on people. You were able to gather people, work with them. It shows, we can say, teamwork because you probably worked with other members to accomplish that. And by describing what you did and showing the added value you had, it could be equivalent to talking about a professional experience. You can talk also about your involvement in clubs, about additional Maybe jobs you did during summertime, or even maybe jobs you did like internships. So even if you don't have formal experience, always talking about something you accomplished and show the results you got to will show somehow your personality and your willingness to work. Because if a company is posting a job where they ask for 1 to 2 years experience, they're asking, this is an entry level position. So they're asking for someone that is starting, that doesn't have all the knowledge and all the experience. It means they're okay with it, and they will help you advance and potentially even train you. But you have to show that you're willing to advance and you're coming with a lot of energy. Sometimes with these positions, they're not looking for someone that already knows all there is to know about the job, but they're mainly looking for someone that is willing to do the job and someone that is willing to work hard to advance. So if you're showing that you have potential, you will be the right candidate. How do you show potential? By showing that you already worked before on projects or anything that got you some kind of result and made you advance. This will ultimately show that you're someone that has willingness to do things, and this energy will be used in your future job to make advance the project they're working on. After talking about the resume, we will talk about cover letters, because sometimes we apply, but we don't know if we have to send a cover letter or we don't, because it's not always required. In my opinion, it's always a plus if it's a good cover letter. So the way we have to think about it is that we call it cover letter, but it doesn't mean it's a letter. It could be an email, it could be a text you add to the application. And we have to use information that is not included in the resume, because it's an opportunity to say more about you and to show who you are. Assuming you're sending that to either the recruiter or the hiring manager, it will be presented as a mini sales presentation, because you will try to convince them that you're the best fit and you're the candidate that they have to select. It shouldn't be too long, because if we go to 2 pages of content, I don't think they'll read it. Even if it's an email, it doesn't have to be very long. It could be short and concise. You will start by trying to connect with the person you're talking to by telling either a story, or you will think about something with the hook, because you want that person to read it. They receive a lot of applications, and if you start by boring words, you don't have any guarantee that they will continue to read through what you sent. It is something that will, if it's done right, help you get the job. So you have to think about it, and you have to know what you want to add to complement your application. What we need to do is we need to present ourselves to that person and be likable, because no one wants to hire someone that seems boring. We will also think about it as an opportunity where we will add information related to the job and to our personality, and show them how these two are connected together. And these two will make you the right fit and the best candidate for the job. So the mistakes we usually make is that we send a standard cover letter, again, same mistake as the resume. This is instantly something the reader will notice, because sometimes it even starts by "to whom it may concern." It means you don't even know who you're talking to. Or sometimes I received emails where they tell me, "Hello, sir." It means you didn't even realize I wasn't sir. you didn't even put that little effort in writing your email, you just did copy paste and sent the same information you sent to everyone else. So it has to be short, concise, to the point, with interesting information that is not included in your resume, with a style that is not too wordy and not too complicated to understand, and with the specific details that will make your application stand out. Details that will show that you know about the company, you know about the person you're talking to, and you know the added value you're bringing to the table. So if you're going to take advantage of the cover letter and send something that will show that you're a passionate candidate, something that will connect to the reader, and something that will add on the information that you already provided in your resume, then yes, go ahead and send it. But if it's only to send the standard cover letter, it might even harm your application. If you're willing to do the work and provide a material of quality, then I would take advantage of this. If it's something too generic or even something that will not spark the interest of anyone, you can skip the step. So if you look at this application, cover letter or resume, I would say, to summarize, that the most important part is to show that you did the job, that you know what the company is about, you know what the position is, and you're aware of your strengths and weaknesses. If you map this and you show to the recruiter or the hiring manager that you have the competencies, that you understand what they do, and you will have an impact on the job, if it's something you're able to show in your application, and if it's something that will be different from every single application to another one, then you will be way more high likely to get the job. Like anything else in life, we tend to realize when someone puts a lot of effort in doing something and when someone is doing just a mediocre job or just doing the minimum that could be done. The same can be said for the resume and the cover letter. The reader will instantly realize who you are, and if it doesn't show your personality, maybe you're a hardworking person and you're really interested, but by sending something too generic and standard, it would show the opposite of who you are. Think about it like you're in a competitive pool. You're not the only person that's sending this application. You have to show your best to these people, but at the same time, they're busy and they will not likely take the time to read what you sent them, and they will not put in effort to try to understand. You have to make it easier for them. You have to do the job for them, and you are not just like the best candidate because you have to show it. Other people don't know you. If they knew, then yeah, maybe you would already be hired there, but they don't know what you're capable of. You probably know it and you overestimate the fact that you're the best. But if you're not able to translate it to what's written on that piece of paper, that's why I said it's a sales presentation. It will be more difficult for you to get noticed. So it's all about being noticed in a pool of applicants that are all probably like you or even better. Hopefully now you understand the importance of networking, because it gives you the right information about the company, and it would potentially lead you to get a job by getting all the information related to the position, the culture in the company, and even knowing if there is a job opening. The second part of the application is the resume and cover letter. And here again, it's important to put the work to craft a document that will reflect your abilities and reflect your personality and your knowledge about the company. In the next episode, we will talk about interviews and the common answers and questions we have, the behaviors we should have to be successful, and how to approach and talk to the people that will be, hopefully, your next colleagues. See you next week. Bye.